Social media is toxic and a cesspool for destroying your mental health. More on that, I'm going to be showing you a list of photos and walking through them and talking about how social media affects our body image and whatnot. And some of it will include some photos of, butt cheeks, bikinis and whatnot. If you're uncomfortable seeing that, this is your word of warning. So, take it away, future me editing this. Thank you, past me. This is the first photo that set me off on making this video. I'll just show you the caption. One of my followers sent in a perfect explanation of what I meant when I said Kim's body is anatomically impossible. You probably know who Kim is referring to, Kim Kardashian, the photo on the right, whose body has the smallest parts of the waist being right at the belly button. As you can see, the yellow line indicates where her belly button is, and the smallest part of her waist is right across it. This is fake because immediately under it is the widest part of her body, her hips. That's anatomically unlikely because whether or not you use surgery or Photoshop or both, realistically, a body has their waist, their true waist, right above their belly button or somewhere above their belly button, and then it narrows into their hips across their pubic region. As you can tell in the photo on the left, the widest part of their hips is about the pubic region, and it's not real. This is all an illusion. And on the next photo, you can see the left is a female anatomy diagram from a medical textbook, and the right is the original poster's amateur face tuning to approximate the hip proportions with the waist. As you can see, they're not natural, and realistically, you would not find this, within hundreds of people or even thousands of people, because naturally, of course, because the likelihood of that happening is 1 in billions, I would assume. It's just not like... And up here, we have this skin guru who has 2 photos. These are both the same dude. And on the left, you have a photo of his skin with all the pores and all the wrinkles and all the skin and the texture without great lighting. And on the right, you have a photo of his face-tuned face with blurred skin that looks as if it were plastic smooth. That's not how real skin looks. Real skin has pores and has texture and has all these curves and bumps and, clumps of cellulite and other junk. Maybe not on your face, but especially on your thighs and whatnot. But that's besides the point. Skin on your head has acne. And it's okay if you have acne. That's what real bodies look like. As you can see on the photo of the left, they have a photo that isn't as face-tuned. It still looks kind of like it has great lighting and whatnot. But besides that, on the right side, you can see clearly it's more edited to look more smooth and look less like skin and more like a doll. This is not what bodies look like. If you see somebody's skin look perfectly smooth and you wish, man, I wish my skin was as clear as that, it's not real. It's not as real as somebody is trying to make it seem. And I hope that you can see through this veneer, this pale veneer, just like I'm trying to show you. And in this photo, you can see how lighting and editing and other stuff can affect your jawline. I know for me, I personally wish my jawline was a lot more sharper. Who doesn't, really? And on this, you can see James Charles, his jawline is, alright. It looks normal in the left photo, but on the right, they artificially add more shadows, add a deeper cut, and other things into his ears and whatnot, and it's not real. If you can see this before and after, the before is the reality of the photo, the after is the fake, the facade, again, that's trying to portray somebody as more perfect than they really are. But you're perfect just the way you are, without this editing and without the negative constraints that social media puts on us all. And besides the face, you have the waist. Look at this photo right here. As you can see, this person's waist looks very cinched, right? Like they're really, really fitting the hourglass figure. But in reality, look at how her arm is shaped. Look at how her arm is bending, the one that's circled. As you can see, her arm is pointing inwards, her palm is pointing inwards into her hips, but her arm is facing outwards, and it looks like she's digging into her own body. That's because she warped the waistline to make it look far more curved than it really is. And while that may sound like I'm a lunatic if you don't personally see it, look at this photo right here. This photo, her arm is unnaturally shaped away, leaning away from her body, and looks disproportionately thinner than the rest of her. Whose arm is that what kind of clothing is that tight on somebody? Well, I mean, clothing can be tight like that, but what I mean is, what kind of clothing makes somebody's arm look so small in comparison to the rest of somebody's body? I hope you see that it's altered. That's not a real waist, and that's not a real arm. The body's being edited to fit our nation's beauty standards, or maybe our society's beauty standards, and it's not real. Don't feel pressured to look this way, or act this way, or try and make yourself look this way. Because in reality, angles, editing, everything can change. In this photo, look at this. This person is traditionally very conventionally attractive. But in this screen cap, they're not in the same vibe mode to look that attractive, because it's all about angles, all about the positioning of somebody's body, their feet, their hips, the way they're leaning forward or leaning back, the camera that the angle is pointed at. All these things factor into how they look. And in reality, people try and make themselves look as flattering as possible, when that's not how you should be looking 24/7 or in the mirror 24/7. But photos aren't where it ends, trying to look as beautiful as possible 24/7. There are ways to edit videos, like in this, to look as pretty as possible. Look at how this little app can edit somebody's body during a video. This is all, I'll just let you watch it. So see, notice how the waist is a different shape, her hips are shaped like freaking wisdom teeth. And notice this part. Look at how thin her waist looked at that screenshot. I'll show you again. Notice how similar this altered waist looks to this photo. This photo clearly is edited, and as you can see, the person's original video is not the same as the edited one, and the edited one, which is fake, looks just as similar to the skater girl or whatever that's clearly edited to look as flattering as possible. But bodies don't look like this 24/7. You can look beautiful just how you look, because society has unrealistic, arbitrary standards about what beauty looks like. An emphasis on arbitrary, by the way, because beauty standards can change multiple times within your lifespan. Look at this. A fitness trainer models and face tunes her body to match the different beauty standards of the eras. Look at the span between the 1990s and 2018. Between 1990 and 2018, that's about 30 years, okay? Do you realize how different those body standards look? I know for sure as hell I am not 30 years old yet, but look at how wildly those standards can change from being in the 1990s, like a teenager in that time, and then being 40 in 2018. Look at how different they are. And look at how in the 1400s through 1700s, thin waists and, other stuff related to these hips weren't even thought of. Obviously, things looked a little bit more realistically to match wider plus-sized bodies, but the point that I'm trying to make is that these standards change wildly, and to base all of our body image and all of our freaking mindsets and mental health around it, I hope that you find some solace in this video and realize, hey, social media is toxic, and here, I'll leave you off with some more positive things. These are realistic bodies. These are realistic people showing what real people look like. I'm not going to be commentating over this, but if you'll stick around, I hope you're satisfied, or I hope you find more solace in these realistic bodies. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful week.
Your daily reminder that social media is fake.
And you starting to ball me, baby. Why you only call me when you're home?